Well, good day, everybody. It's the 22nd of April, and pretty momentous day in a few ways. Certainly, there's news about to come, but I've got to state very clearly here before we go any further that the official results for the OGR are not declared at the moment. The winner of the OGR has absolutely not been declared at the moment, and they won't be until we are ready to do so. There's always other things involved with making those decisions, and certainly the people that follow the tracker here, you, our loyal followers, probably get more of a fuller story about what goes on than we can possibly ever hope to explain on Facebook and all the other bits and pieces that we do to get the story out there, because there are facts and there are other issues as well. For instance, once a vote is finished, we've got to check all the satellite communications and we've got to check all the other issues, and then the entrants themselves have a bearing on that. And what I can say is that we did receive an official phone call a message from Triana yesterday afternoon, asking for us not to release the results of the OGR winners and so on until such time as he got in, and he said that they were going to send us a call. Now, that call could refer to various subjects, and on the basis of that, we were waiting for the call. It hasn't come yet. We replied to that message and said, yep, we're ready to take your call if there's any issues. We don't know whether there are issues or not at this time, but we have to give him the respect that message deserves. So this morning we sent a message to Triana and advised Triana that all things considered, we are about to make an announcement, and it hasn't been made yet, as to the official placings within the OGR for who may be or may not be the winner of the OGR. And as I'm stressing a lot here, because I know people are busting to break news, but it hasn't happened for some very important reasons. So until such time as we make an official statement, there is no winner of the OGR yet. And we will play that out to wherever direction it goes, and we'll advise everyone as soon as we possibly can. Okay, so that's about it for the moment. And as far as tweets are concerned, poor Triana, they're stuck in a hole. They've got they said virtually no food left, and it's going to be very frustrating 24 hours for them to actually make it to the finish line. So kind of interesting. Anyway, we'll go straight to that and we'll show you what's going on. I've got Windy on standby to show you if I think we need it, to give you an idea of ETAs and so on. So you're currently looking at the tracker, and so am I. You can see here it's not looking very encouraging. There's a big hole there of no wind at all, and then there's very light northerlies here, which has been good for very good for White Shadow. They've been able to sail down in the northerlies while Triana's been sitting there in a hole. Okay, so here's the new positions. In fact, I won't go through that yet, otherwise you'll never understand what happens to Sterner. You can see there's challenges ahead, but we'll start at the back end of the fleet here. We'll just have a quick look at Explorer and Sterner. I'll go right down all the way to Explorer, sitting down here with a fair bit of solid headwind, you might say. So they've been doing 5.9 knots, and they did 118 nautical miles in the last 24 hours. While we're here, because they're so far off the track, I'm just going to quickly roll this through to show you the weather in 24 hours' time. They've got the same. Okay, so it's going to be tacking, but hopefully they'll stay on port tack and keep heading towards the finish rather than starboard tack heading towards Canada. So that's the first 24 hours, and then in the next 24 hours after that, here we go, that's them. Still the same again, headwinds, and that's to be expected because there's this high pressure just above them. But they should be then heading out towards the run line. They've got something like 1,800 miles to go, so they're still a couple of weeks away from the finish. All is well. Translated 9, threatening to take off any time this week, and then when they do, they'll have about 1,200 miles to the finish, 1,278 to the finish, and that could take them up to about a week. So stay tuned for that when it gets a bit further down the track. Right now, Sterner has got a reasonable sort of breeze from the southeast, so starboard tack, heading generally in the right direction, maybe up to Ireland a bit, but not too bad. And then if we come through in 24 hours, they start to run out of breeze, so they'll slow down a bit and not make great headway. Then the next 24 hours after that, on the 24th, I'm into the 25th already. On the 24th, near enough to there, they've got a reasonable light weather behind them. So in those 2 days, they'll probably do about 300 miles, and they've got 6:30 to go. So looking like the 25th or 26th or something. No, hang on. 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, maybe 26th, something like that they'll turn up as well. Okay, back to real-time weather, and we can park those, and we'll look at the final 4 finishes here and try and give you my best interpretation. So everything's happening pretty much like clockwork. Triana were parked doing 1.5 knots, and at the time there's a northerly breeze up here, and I suggested that White Shadow would close that gap, and in fact they've closed it. They've sailed right up to them, and now they're doing 5.8 still at 12 o'clock, and Triana's just started in the breeze doing 4 knots. They've got 163 miles to go to the finish, and White Shadow have got 170 miles to the finish. So they're very close together. So that's big news for White Shadow. They'd be happy about that. I thought Galliana would have caught up a bit as well. They're currently doing 3.9 knots, so it's very light northerly, a little bit of west in it, nor-norwesterly. 3.9 knots, they're not going fast at all. Now they've got 224 miles to the finish against 160, so there's 63 miles. So they did take out about 30 miles overnight. They cut the corner a little bit, so they've also caught up a little bit on Triana. And Evrika, they've come down on port tack, and they'll probably straighten up in a minute, but they're only doing 3.6, so very light, 91 nautical mile a day, 270 miles to go, so 100 miles behind Galliana. But all this is going to happen really fast over the next few days. The big challenge is getting Triana to the finish. As you know, they needed to try and cross sometime early this morning. It's not going to happen. We predicted that yesterday. And you can see here there's just no wind up front even. So as they make progress, I mean, they're just going to park again unless something happens with the weather. So now, and this is going to be across the board for all of them. I'll get rid of that. You can see Evrika down the back there. Now I'll just, hopefully the internet will hold this. I'll click it through. So you can see the breeze is actually now extending forward over the next 4 hours or so. That'll keep them both sailing. So Triana and White Shadow will probably sail together. And then as they move forward, that's going to give them, so they're doing 5 knots, 5 fours are 20. They're going to be 20 miles out. They're going to hold that breeze. There's about 20 miles out. So they'll hold that breeze over the next 4 hours. That's pretty straightforward. And then if we keep going forward again, if we watch that, the breeze then starts to lighten off again. So as they're coming in, they're going to sail into this calm. This is by midnight tonight, or getting close to midnight. There's going to be a big hole of no wind. And I think you're going to see them park there again, because that's, we can say they will have only got about 30 miles max. 20-something miles, so 28, there's 30 miles. They're going to be right in the middle of this and just park there during the night. So that's what's happening there. This is 1:30 in the morning, UTC, and then the breeze slowly kicks in, but it's super light. And as it's coming in, it's going around and forward of the beam. So and this is at 7:30 in the morning. So by dawn, they're probably going to be around about here somewhere. Okay, let's assume that anyway. And then going forward a little bit more, it will come through to 24 hours. So this is now 24 hours away. They'll be going really slow, and they'll be right on the edge of another calm there. So they've probably done 30, 40, 50 miles. Yeah, there we go there. So I'd be surprised if they get to this headland, and it's still really light, so they'll just be drifting, and this will be at 7 o'clock in the morning. And at that point, they'll probably have around about another 90 miles to go. Even if they're around here, something 80 miles to go. If they're doing 5 knots, that's 16 hours. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. You can see they're already down to midnight. So And I think what will happen is if they're lucky, they'll just get into this breeze and they'll start going along on port tack, and they can hopefully keep moving on that, because that's now 24 hours, and then we go along and you can see nothing of any substance. It's just light, but that's probably about 8 or 9 knots. So they could keep going about 4 knots or so. And this is now 11 o'clock at night. It's going to be very slow going. So I'll be surprised now, just looking at this, if they actually can get in before dark tomorrow. So close, but so far. And the others, Galiana, they're going to get hooked up in all this other stuff. So they've got to get through this band of not much wind. And, you can see what's going to happen. I mean, it's very hard for me to predict as a sensible ETA when the conditions are like this. And this isn't taking into account the current. There's no point in even looking at the currents, because it's hard to say when they're going to arrive in the zone that is affected by the current. So the best way to look at this is think of Triana coming in sometime, if they're lucky, just before dark, with white shadow just after dark. Could be worse than that. And then I think you'll see Galiana come in, because that'll be a drifter as well. They probably won't be in until Wednesday morning sometime. And then if that's the case with Galiano, they're in on Wednesday morning, you'll see Evrika coming late on Wednesday, something like that. So, and that's really about all I can say for that. I think what we can do now is I'm going to look at the leaderboard for leg 4. Look at the leaderboard for leg 4, and I'll get that up here a bit. Sorry. Get that up here. So we've still got, you can see all the others are in. Not a lot happening there. Triana's coming in at 49 days, 54 minutes, and Galiana with secure 49 days, 13 minutes. They're all pretty much stacked up as you'd expect, but White Shadow's a little bit behind Galiana at the moment, but that may extend off. So this one's still a little bit up for grabs. Now, just to save any confusion, I'm not even going to go into the combined leg results, because, as I say, with the issue of Triana making a message to us, asking us to delay, and that he needed to talk to us, we have to give him the respect that deserves until such time as he contacts us. However, we officially told him this morning that we will be announcing official placings and so on soon. We didn't say exactly when. So we have not declared any winner for the OGR at the moment, and we will as soon as we feel it is appropriate to do so. Okay, that's the go there, and I think I can come back on this and just say g'day here with all the people and see what's going on. I hope that was working. I'm showing, what am I showing here? Oh, cheapest. All the comments are off. No, what's going on here? I'm not seeing any comments there. I'm on my new computer, which is always the same. Show, hide message stream. No. Jane. Oh, I'm not seeing any messages here. Do you want to have a quick look? Comment assistance is off. Why is that not getting? We've got a problem. We got it. No, here comes. There's another one there. I'm seeing people there watching, but I'm no. There's some messages there, but it's. I don't know. I'm only seeing 2 messages there, but it says the message thing's off. Sorry, everybody. Looks like I can't see your comments today, and I'm not sure why. I can't turn it on, and as soon as I turn it on, it says choose the plan that fits your expertise. Something about paying money now. Maybe our subscription just ran out. I didn't even know it. But we can't see any comments there. Well, that's a bit of a bore. Let's see what's going on here. Oh no, hang on a sec. Oh, got it back. Oh, okay. All right, sorry about that. G'day, Stefan. Christine. Hugh, that's great. Don't probably do that's French. I can't read that. Looks like spam. Something about 5 million. Morning. G'day, Mike. John. Hi, Anne. Warren. Yep, all good. Don't look like many questions, just comments like other. All good. All right, well, that's it. So we'll see you again with the tracker tomorrow. And as I say, we hope to say something later today, but as for the moment, we're not in a position to announce any official placings in the OGR. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.